повторю еще раз, приносить в жертву российско-американские отношения в ходе внутриполитических событий в США, считаю вредным, контрпродуктивным. Это происходит не первый раз. Вот практически, вы обратите внимание, проанализируйте все предыдущие избирательные кампании. Ну, все повторяется и повторяется. Я уже говорил, а потом еще нам на ухо шепчут: вы подождите, сейчас пройдет и все нормализуется. Но, знаете, даже не смешно уже даже. Но если кто-то хочет конфронтации, это не наш выбор, но, значит, проблемы будут какие-то. Нам будет.
Mid-American Patriot. Get some.
So the Russians have the RS-28 Sarmat rocket. It is so powerful it can destroy a landmass the size of Texas or France. The heavy liquid ICBM, nicknamed Satan II by NATO, can carry up to 15 multiple independently targetable re-entry vehicle or MIRV warheads, with each of them having a capacity of 150 to 300 kilotons, which can be separated from a bunch when it has to leave its target as programmed. It will fly to its target in excess of Mach 5, changing its trajectory according to the rate and height, so it cannot be intercepted by any missile defense system. It has been designed with stealth technology and can be fired undetected by radar. With an operational range of 17,000 kilometers, it can reach both coasts of the United States. Moscow is 7,850 miles from Washington, which the missile could easily reach. It travels at speeds that renders most missile defense systems useless and can carry a payload up to 10 tons and weighs 100 metric tons. The hypersonic aerodynamics of the vehicle make it very hard to intercept. Its launch preparation time is about a minute, which prevents it from being hit on the ground. It can deploy multiple trajectories to the North American continent, not just via the poles. This is due to the powerful engines and the large fuel load. It can employ suborbital trajectories and decoys, which reduces flight time and reaction time. And this is what we're being threatened with. This conflict in Syria, where the Russians are fighting ISIS, the IS, Islamic State, the folks who are in the caliphate, what we would consider to be the really, really bad guys. This is who the Russians are fighting. And we are going to march in there and erect a no-fly zone to stop them. And they're saying if we do this, there is going to be a war. And that Satan too is probably going to be involved. Let's reiterate. The RS-28 Sarmat rocket is so powerful, it can destroy the landmass the size of Texas or France. Could reduce our country. And this is the threat. There would be no response time with a rocket that's flying Mach 5 that has some brains and that also has a system that is meant to outmaneuver and stealthily enter into a target area and detonate and devastate the entire region. If you think global warming is a problem, think about what a thermonuclear detonation over Washington, D.C., or Los Angeles, or someplace over Miami, or the middle of the country, doesn't matter where, that's it. Game is over. So, Hillary Clinton wants to erect a no-fly zone and prevent the Russians from taking out extremists. We're also beating our chest towards the Russians with the Eastern missile shield that we have pointed at the Russians. We are spying on the Russians, and we are poking the Russians, and nobody is talking in this country about how the Russians are preparing their people for war. Civil defense drills, calling their people home, making alliances with China, making alliances with Turkey, entertaining the idea of doing war games with the Philippines, because the South China Sea is a very contested place. And if you don't remember about China, let's just do a real quick recap on China. Remember, these are the people who were making islands for military usage for their army that has 2.3 million people in it. Listen, folks, I'm not going to have a foreign dictator dictate to me who to vote for. But I'm also not going to vote for an inept person like Hillary Clinton, who has no business in politics, who can barely stand of her own accord, who wants to continue on the policies of Barack Obama of pissing off our allies and infuriating our enemies and trying to hug a religion that would slit our throats as soon as look at us. So, I'm going to agree with the Russians. I'm not going to be dictated to the Russians. I personally am pulling for Trump. Not because he's a misogynistic pig. That is probably so. I don't know the man personally. But that's not what I'm worried about. I'm worried about an alpha male in Russia who is pounding his chest back at us as we pound our chest at them. And when I say we are pounding our chest, Joe Biden is pounding his chest and making war beats at Russia. And we're wondering why Vladimir Putin is taking his awfully big gun and pointing it at us. I talked to a girl today in a local store, and she couldn't figure out in the debates why they kept talking about Russia and why that was so important. Listen, it is important that you share this video. It's important that you tell your friends what's going on in this world. It's important to strike up a conversation with the local cashier. It's important to talk to people at this point and let them know what's going on in this world. That this isn't a Hillary and Trump thing. That this is a global thing with great ramifications and amazing consequences. And if they think that global warming is a bitch, try wearing your skin as, I don't know, ashes? Because that's all that's going to be left. Ashes. My name is Tim O'Neill. I'm a Mid-American Patriot.
Mid-American Patriot. Get some. Exclusively on BlackPigeonspeaks.com.